guys, welcome. So I thought I'd sit here and chat with you guys tonight. I have been thinking a lot about this specific topic for the last several weeks, mostly just due to life circumstances. For those of you who haven't followed my videos, I am a homesteader, but aside from that, I work a full-time job, and we used to, up until just recently, have a bricks and mortar business here in my local hometown. So my day-to-day job that actually pays the bills I telecommute for. And so I have been blessed to be able to work remotely for, like 15 years or so. And because we're gluttons for punishment, we started another business here, which is a cookie cutter of the business that we telecommute for. So we are in the steel business. We had a steel distribution warehouse here in town, and we recently closed it down, put our property up for sale, and it sold. So we spent a couple weeks clearing out the property, and then we found ourselves very first world problem. We found ourselves with income from the sale of our property and trying to figure out strategically what to do with it. So our business all along was determined, we never took an income off of our business here in town. We looked at it all along as a long-term investment in a community service. And it definitely fulfilled both those roles. So now we've got this income coming in from the sale of our property, and because both my husband and I are in our 40s, something that we're looking at long term is retirement. And so being that this was all along destined to be a long-term investment, we are trying to be good stewards of what it is that we've been, or not have received, although I guess we have received some of it. We did a real estate contract, which is very similar to an owner finance situation. So we will be getting an income for the next 5 years off of this. And so what we've decided to do is turn around and reinvest it into an investment property, being rentals. We have other rental properties and it's treated us well. So this is something that we feel is a good move for us. So, but anyways, the topic of wealth has really been on my mind. And Julie and I had a long conversation. If you don't know Julie from Dirt Patch Heaven, pop on over and check her out. She is not only my homestead hero, but one of my closest friends. And she and I have frequent conversations where we really just kind of mull over life. And because we are very similar in our viewpoints, it's nice to have that back and forth like-mindedness, but also to be challenged. So we were discussing the topic of wealth. And she and I both are deeply connected to our dirt. And so as I get older, it used to be that in my mind, the idea of wealth was money, dollars and cents. So cash in hand or in the bank, potentially in the form of assets. And I definitely don't discount that as wealth. In conventional wisdom, in society's viewpoint, that is definitely definition of wealth. But as I get older, and partly the prepper in me, definitely the homesteader in me, because I think homesteading fundamentally changes you as an individual and your value system changes. And not that we no longer value, I mean, the fact is that we live in modern society and there is a place for cash money. So we can't ignore that fact. And in order to do most everything in life, there needs to be some exchange of some sort of quote-unquote currency. And so what I'm coming to discover later in my life is that currency isn't necessarily limited to just dollars and cents. What I've really found my sense of wealth in is community. And how does that equate to dirt? Well, it has everything to do with dirt. And that sounds so crazy, but food is life. And I have come to find out that we really aren't that evolved from, we aren't further evolved from our caveman and Neanderthal selves. Our quest for survival is very much still the same. Rather than going out and hunting and foraging for food and physically building our shelter, we trade our time for dollars and cents and then exchange those dollars and cents, or very literally our hours, for these same necessities. So you're trading your dollars and cents, you are trading your time in an office or behind a vehicle or whatever it is you do for a living for food. you're trading it for shelter, you're trading it for comfort. And so those things really are no different than it was in our caveman selves. It's just it has taken a different form. It looks a little different, but very much at the root of it, it is the same. And so what I've also discovered is that dollars and cents are, although society has put a value on it, it's kind of up for interpretation. And what you value something at, somebody else may not value it at. Or what you hold in high value to you personally, somebody else may see as completely worthless. So, and I will equate this again to dirt. I did not have dirt when we started our homestead. I have so much respect and appreciation for this dirt behind me. And this is actually a very poor example because I just scraped about 8 inches off of all of these pathways and put them into my raised beds to raise the dirt level. But it's taken me more than a year, probably 2 years, to develop that amount of dirt, that soil. Before, it was just rock, it was clay, it was nothing of value. You couldn't stick a seed in it and grow anything if you just took the utmost care of it because it wasn't dirt. There was nothing there. And so in order to provide something, a healthy, happy environment for my seeds to grow in, I needed to create dirt. And in order to do that, I went to the most unlikely of sources. Those of you who homestead know, but those of you who maybe have never experienced this lifestyle, I made dirt from trash. Literally, it was poop from my animals. It is leftover newspaper. It is paper bags from the grocery store. It is hay, it is straw, it is kitchen waste. And I have not paid for any of the dirt. I've got 6 raised beds here in this garden. And not only have I filled them completely using waste products, but I've created so much dirt in my walkways that I have an abundance of it so that as my soil levels drop, I'm able to harvest from right here. There was nothing here before. There was nothing of value. There was nothing that could be taken and create life. And by persistence and using things that may not have value to others, absolutely created something of value to me. But much like many situations in trade, it's a time and energy investment. So it's not necessarily quick. I reflect on my friends that are active in certain trades, and although you may not see necessarily the value of that work with somebody's hands, when you are in need, you cannot put a price on that. You would pay more in a time of need than you would in a time of an abundance. And so that value is fluctuating. And so I just wanted to share with that. Don't get stuck in your frame of mind that the only way to create wealth is through money, because that is totally up to your interpretation. And so as I get older, like I said, I see a lot more value in creating things with my hands, with skills. If we were in some sort of situation where there was total absence of, like say, truck stopped running and it was some sort of catastrophic event, money at that point doesn't matter, but skills would. The ability to be able to produce something, to be able to help others, that holds such value. So if I could encourage you tonight, it would be to invest in yourself, invest in this, because this is by far your greatest asset. This is your biggest source of wealth right here. And just kind of keep plugging along, look for opportunities, because there are so many opportunities for you to figure out where you could fit, where you could enrich the lives of others, where the works of your hands could help others. As this past week I was able to share with a neighbor, which just totally blessed my heart. I'm not sure if I shared this story on my last video, but my neighbor and friend down the road, she is deeply emotionally invested in her animals, and she had a 29-year-old horse pass away. and her only other livestock animal was a single goat. And so not only was my friend heartbroken over the loss of her horse, who has very much been there for her through some major events in her life, but now she's got this goat that is just calling out for companionship. So she reached out to me and asked if I would be able to share one of my goats. I have an abundance. And so I was able to invite her over. I introduced her to my herd. We discussed her needs. We discussed her wants in an animal. And I was able to pair her up with a specific goat that I felt would fill the need that she had. And she's messaged me several times. Not only is that goat brought her joy, but it's eased her other goat. And so that, although you can't put a dollar amount of value on that, that absolutely holds value. So look outside your box. I am constantly on a mission of reevaluation. I spend a lot of time in my own head. I am constantly being self-analytical. May or may not always be healthy, but it helps me kind of find my own fit in this world. And so if I can encourage you to do that, find your fit, because it's a fulfilling thing. It's empowering. And I know that I have lots of friends that struggle with depression, and I don't necessarily think that there's anything that can be done in a bigger picture other than right here. So once they find their own fit, and you feel that fulfillment, and you feel that passion, all of a sudden life changes. It's like a light switch flips. So you guys keep on your path, keep on your journey, keep searching, keep evolving, keep growing. Until next time, I shall see you later. If you feel so inclined to support our homestead, I do have affiliate links in the description, wherever that happens. I think it's down below here. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you joining me. I hope this gave you something of value, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.